Growing up fishing with my dad was more than a sport or a hobby. It was a chance to go on an adventure and make memories that will always remind me of him. He gave me experiences that allowed me to challenge myself, meet new friends, and appreciate the beauty of the nature that surrounded us. I invite you now to come and share in my 7-day fishing adventure in Northern Alberta. Before leaving on my trip, I make sure the boat is prepared by checking all the bolts, making sure they're tight, and any other thing that needs to be done before I leave on the road. Here I have my frozen water packed up in the cooler, my dry goods in another cooler. I have propane for my portable barbecue, extra water, extra drinks. I have some bait I'm going to try to keep alive for the 7 days, and all of my electronics. Everything fits great in the truck for my 7 days. I check it all over, make sure I've got everything, and I'm ready to go. I'm so lucky to have a family that supports me and all the adventures that I go on.
Bye!
Growing up and fishing in Southern Alberta, there was a lot of days that we didn't catch any fish. I'd watch fishing shows on TV and see great fishing all over the country, but no one really ever featured Alberta. I've heard of some great fishing up north, and I wanted to take this opportunity to explore the lakes up there and really find out for myself what I could catch. Heading north of Edmonton is where the number of lakes increase, and you have much more opportunities to find that trophy fish. The weather looks good, and I'm looking forward to all the different lakes I can get to in the next 7 days. Getting to the first lake, the wind is blowing pretty good today. However, this chop should bring out the walleye bite, so let's see what we can find. Got him. After I hooked into this first fish, I realized I forgot the net in the truck. I didn't think this was going to be a big deal, as I did not expect to catch a lot of fish or any big fish. Fish this size aren't too hard to handle from the boat, but if I catch something bigger, it's gonna get interesting.
I really want to get it out of you. First fish of the trip was a nice sized pike, about 8 pounds, 29 inches long. It was a great fight. All right, looking forward to get some more. Let's see what we can find.
The waves are making it a little bit interesting to jig from the front of the boat, but it's still a nice day to be out on the water.
Gotcha, right under the boat. Second fish. That was a great little walleye, 19 inches long, caught on this little jig. got another one. And this is something big. This is a big fish. Whoa, it's a big walleye. Woohoo! All right, baby, come on. Look at that walleye. She's huge. Oh, I wish I had a net. I don't know how the hell I'm gonna get her.
This walleye ended up being 8 pounds and 29 inches long. This is the largest walleye I have ever caught.
That's what's been chasing my lures. Pike.
Number 4, the smallest of the ones so far today. The fishing action has been incredible. On almost every cast, I'm getting a bite or a fish.
Got another one. Hi. I love you. Daddy's fishing. I'm on my fishing trip. Got him. Whoa, okay. This is a big fish. He's not done yet. How am I going to get you in?
I could barely get my hand around the back of this pike. As I got on the boat, it looks like I dropped it, but the leader actually bent and she fell to the bottom of the boat. This pike measured 38 inches long and well over 15 pounds.
Woohoo! Look at her. She's huge. Look what she did.
The first day on this adventure was amazing. I only spent a couple hours on the lake and caught my personal best pike and walleye. The action was non-stop and I couldn't have asked for anything better. This was a beautiful Northern Alberta lake. It didn't take too long to find the fish once I looked for the basic structure underneath the water. They were piled up and I was able to effectively target them with some jigs. When I got back to the dock, I was able to meet some of the local kids. I showed them what I was using to catch fish, and gave him a couple of my lures. The start of this adventure has been amazing. I can't wait to see what the next few days bring. It's another beautiful Northern Alberta morning. It's warm and sunny, and the water is nice and calm. With it being this early in the morning, I have the boat launched to myself, and I don't see any other boats on the water. I decide I'm going to spend the morning targeting some large pike. So in order to catch some large pike, I'm going to use a large lure. Focusing on the shallows and weedy edges, I use a jerking motion on the lure to attract the pike. Morning. I'm catching quite a few small ones this morning, and I do see some larger fish on the sonar, so I start switching up my lures to see if I can trigger a larger pike to bite. The small ones keep biting these large lures. This pike almost looked like a chain pickerel when I picked it up because of its light colors, but still just another small pike. No matter what I tried, I just cannot get these larger fish that I saw on the sonar to trigger. I kept on picking up these small to medium-sized pike. It almost seemed like the larger the size of the lure I put in the water, the smaller the pike I caught. I feel like I've fished this area out, so time to start trolling out of here and see what else I can catch. As I get to the end of this weed bed, I get a bite and hook into something larger. This turned out to be a 26-inch, 5-pound walleye. With the wind picking up and the waves increasing, this chop should increase the walleye bite, so I switch over to jigging where I find a concentration of bait fish. However, the majority of these fish turn out to be more small pike, and they just end up eating into all of my jigs. Heading into early afternoon, I switched back to trolling in hopes of picking up some larger walleye. But I keep catching these pike. However, this pike was a little bit more angry than all the other ones. This pike thrashed just at the wrong second, and the hook got embedded deep into my thumb. Now I'm grabbing onto the pike in one hand, and I've got the hook stuck in my thumb in the other. I tried several methods to get the hook out of my thumb, however that didn't work. I finally figured out that if I used the side of the boat, I could use its leverage to pop the hook off my thumb. Dripping blood all over the boat, I grabbed my first aid kit to stop the bleeding. While I'm doing this, the pike still has the hook in its mouth at the front of the boat. Rather than just staying at the front of the boat, this pike has something else in mind for me. This pike definitely wanted to get me hooked again as it thrashed around the boat. I had to turn my attention to it so I could get the hook out and out of the boat. It even got the hook stuck into my shoes and was working towards getting the hook into my ankle. It was another beautiful day on the water with great fishing. I could have done without getting a hook in my thumb, but sometimes these things happen while you're fishing. It's day 3, and this is the day I've been really looking forward to. It's been 30 years since I've caught a lake trout, and I would be happy just to get one in the boat today. It's a little rainy and overcast today, but once again, not a boat in sight, and I have the entire lake to myself. Wow, yeah. Good fight. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is a big fish. Woo! Oh. Woo, he's not coming up at all. Oh. Woo. Oh, this is a big laker. Come on, baby. Oh, I can't even move him from the bottom. Oh, yeah. Yeah! Woohoo! 10-pound laker. It took me about a half an hour to find these fish with the live scope, but once I found them, the action was non-stop. Still wonderful. fish again. I caught about 10 lake trout in the first hour, all on the same lure. I just tied this 2.5 ounce jig with a simple uni knot and then gave it some aggressive jigging once I saw the fish appear on the live scope. Here on the live scope, you can watch the lake trout appear, and then they'll chase the lure down and strike it once they are ready to bite. Came up early, so she's staying down. I can't pull her up. Paint's coming off on both sides now. These lake trout are so much fun to catch. This is an amazing fishery with really healthy fish. I'm looking forward to bringing the family back to this lake one day so we can all enjoy this amazing fishing adventure. The same action continued for the rest of the day. It was so fun to track these fish with the sonar and then catch them right under the boat. Using my limited knowledge of lake trout behavior and the great technology on the boat, I was able to have a very successful day fishing. While preparing for this trip, I was able to find a great little place to stay that is close to a lot of local lakes. I'm fortunate enough to have booked into the evergreen Perch Lodge Resort. It is owned by a couple, and they provide great service and accommodations. The owner also provides cold lake fishing adventure tours. It's the end of day 3 and I couldn't be any happier. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the other lakes in the area will produce for fishing. It's an early start to day 4 and the weather is threatening to rain again. It's overcast, but the wind is calm. This lake has a lot of boats on the shoreline, but I don't see anybody out on the water fishing this early in the morning. When starting on a new lake, I like to take the time to search for bait fish and structure where larger fish might be located. Just a little pike. Nice start though. You missed it. Another small pike. He nailed that. Number 3. Once again, there seems to be a lot of smaller pike at this lake. Lots of fun to catch, and the action was non-stop. This was an absolutely beautiful lake with lots of untouched shorelines and wildlife. Really makes me appreciate the opportunity I have to take this adventure. I stopped at this point with a deep drop-off. There were some larger marks on the sonar, so I decided to take out my jigging rod and see if I could get a couple. The sonar showed me exactly where they were, so I was able to pinpoint cast to them and get them to bite. After hooking into all of those small pike, I decided to go on the hunt for some perch. It's pretty easy to use this amazing technology to find those school of perch. But what size are they, and will they bite? I dropped my line down into this school of perch. I'm hoping there's one that's big enough to take my bait. Still catching pike on the ultralight. I attracted quite a crowd of perch. Some would bite on it, but none would fully take the bait. I think they were all too small for the size of hook I was using. So by around noon, it's time to pack up and head out to the next lake. It's still overcast and threatening to rain. If I keep an eye on the clouds, I should be able to get off the lake before the wind picks up and the rain moves in. Starting on a new lake that you've never been on before, you always have to find the fish before you can catch them. To start on this lake, I go where fresh water enters the lake. I start trolling around looking for fish. If you watch closely on the sonar, I pass over a couple of fish, and moments later they hit, and I have one on. Look how green this guy is. So I've located the predators, but now I'm going to look for the prey. I found the perch I was looking for. They were right tight to the bottom and under the boat. It's so fun catching these perch on ultralight gear. But now I've hooked into something bigger. This is the largest perch I've ever caught, and one of the reasons I came up to Northern Alberta to find these size of perch. It weighed over 1.5 pounds and 14 inches long. Once it caught about 20 perch, the predators moved in and the action was still non-stop. It was so fun catching these fish on ultralight tackle. This was another great Alberta lake. I was only on the lake for a few hours, but once I located the fish, every cast was a fish. I kept a few of those perch for dinner that night. However, the rest that I didn't need, I let them go back in the lake, and off they went. On day 5, I'm saying bye to the Evergreen Lodge and Resort. It's a beautiful morning, and I have a rainbow greeting me as I head out east looking for some new lakes. Off the highway, there are so many options of different lakes I could go to with great boat launches. I decided to head a little bit more north, off to Wolf Lake. Once I reached this lake, it was nice and calm. However, the weather never seemed to know what it was going to do. I wanted to go farther down the lake and see what I could find, but once I got there, the wind was blowing and I was being pushed all around the lake, so I had to move and find somewhere else to start fishing. I spent almost an hour looking for bait fish or any other structure that would hold fish. I was finally able to pick off a couple here. First fish of the day. This lake has turned out to be quite different than the other ones I have fished. I'm not finding any large groupings of fish, but once I see one on the sonar, I pull out the jig rod and I try to target it directly. Once I brought this fish in, I thought there was something odd about it, so I checked it out to see if it was a sauger. But sauger should not be up this far north. Look how dark this walleye is. After not seeing many more fish on the sonar, it's time to move to a different part of the lake where I can find a good weed bed and hopefully some bait fish. After searching the lake for another hour, I stopped over a spot where there was a good school of bait fish and larger marks circling around it. Now I got you. Don't scare the other ones, or whatever's there. Anyway. Oh, you inhaled it. The live scope showed me several fish right under the boat here. I wanted to get them up quick so they didn't scare the other ones away. These fish were once again beating up on my supply of jigs. As I tried different colors and techniques, I found they were only hitting a certain kind of tail with a certain color. The action once again was non-stop once I figured out where these fish were located on the lake and the color pattern of jigs that they like to hit. Many times I reeled back in, only to realize I was missing the tail on my jig, and they stopped biting. Once I replaced the damaged jig, the fish were hitting it once again. This lake turned out to be more of a challenge to start the day. It took time to find the fish, the right techniques, and the right colors to use on these fish. Once I put in that effort and work, I was able to be successful. I called it a day after some smoke started to roll in the early afternoon. I needed to get back on the road and ready for my next location. It's a nice calm morning, but that forest fire smoke has started to settle in, giving that morning sun a dark red glow. I've been really looking forward to this day of my adventure. After spending 5 days on the boat by myself, I get the opportunity to fish with Zach the fisherman. I've only met him online, but now have a chance to fish with him in person. This once again is a new lake for me, and take a best guess on where to find the fish. We hook into a couple early on. Yep, might need the net for this one. don't know. Alright.
What is it?
Pike. Yeah, decent pike. Not finding any large concentration of fish in the morning, we go back to a large shallow flat we found in the middle of the lake. Hopefully here we can find some more fish.
He's wrapped up in some weeds.
Oh, decent size. Oh! Man,
Knock some of those off.
oh yeah, that's a good size.
Swallowed it again.
Yeah. Literally, yeah.
I think it's the weeds.
Those were the two that we saw. I've never hooked one so well. Now, come back. Go, go, swim, swim. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, let's go. Yep, there. It's a walleye.
Not a bad one.
Lay it down though.
Oh yeah.
2 pounds more. Yeah, oh yeah, that's a good one. Oh yeah, that's good. 8 to As we explored this shallow, weedy area, we found the fish just stacked up. Every second cast was a decent-sized fish, and they seemed to get bigger and bigger.
Okay. This can be a bigger fish. I don't know. It's just sitting on the bottom. Either lots of weeds or. Goodbye. Pull on the boat.
This was the 20-pound plus pike I've been looking for. It's not Zach's fault at all that the fish thrashed at the last moment, kicking the hook out and out of the net. It was nice to have someone to fish with, and we caught so many fish we lost count. The average size of these pike was 5 to 10 pounds, and it was just amazing. By the early afternoon, we decided to head on in. It was getting very hot on the lake, and we both needed a break from the heat. Once again, I have to thank Zach for coming on the boat with me. It was not only nice to have the company, but I really appreciate the help loading and unloading the boat. It's the last day of my fishing adventure. There's no wind, and it's very warm out compared to the other days. Nobody is at the docks, and I don't see a boat in sight. Getting up to speed on the boat, I noticed something on the water, so I slow down to check it out. These are all dead whitefish. It's been extremely warm the last few weeks, and now the rising water temperatures and algae bloom is taking its toll on the whitefish population. It's quite depressing seeing hundreds of fish dead on the water. However, the other predators on the lake should be unaffected. I will try to reduce the stress on the fish I do catch by bringing them in fast as I can and keeping them in water as much as possible.
Morning walleye. First one of the day on Beaver Lake.
Here I find the walleye sitting on a sharp drop-off, moving up from the cooler water to where the bait fish are sitting in the shallows.
Oh, that's another one.
Two for the day. As it starts to warm up in the morning, I release the rest of the fish over the side of the boat so I don't have to pull them out of the water. I really wish I could have kept on fishing on this last day of my fishing adventure, but it was getting far too hot to stay on the water any longer. One last pike, and my adventure was over. It was time to start heading home. After 1,600 kilometers and 7 days, I am so lucky to arrive home to an amazing family. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to explore some amazing Northern Alberta lakes. I had a chance to meet some amazing people and had a great adventure. Thanks for joining me on this adventure. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please take a couple minutes to check out Zach's YouTube channel and subscribe to us both.